What's up, everyone? It's Wednesday and mushroom week continues at my house. Yay! So tonight, I've actually been looking forward to this recipe since I picked it on Friday. It is a pesto polenta with thyme roasted mushrooms and chickpeas. It looked so good. I'm so excited. So I've started prepping already because these mushrooms have to roast for about 30 to 40 minutes. So I have 16 ounces of cremini mushrooms. You can use any kind of mushrooms you want. But since the boys are just starting to deal with cremini mushrooms, I didn't want to throw any other ones in the mix yet. So we just did cremini, and I just quartered them, the big ones, and the little ones I actually just left whole because they're going to be in the oven for a while and I don't want them to burn. So there's that on here. A giant tablespoon of minced garlic and a can of chickpeas that I've rinsed and drained and then just patted dry with paper towel. And now I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of olive oil. So just a really healthy drizzle all over this stuff. Yay. So yummy. Oh, I also added a little bit of chili flakes so far. I'm going to do some salt and pepper as well. And then throw in my fresh thyme sprigs. And then we're just going to like toss it around and pop it in the oven. I have my oven set at 325. And the oven rack is in the top third of the oven. So you want it up a little higher than normal. I usually have it in the middle, so I just put it up one. And then we'll just throw a bunch of these guys in there. Yum, it smells super good. I love using fresh herbs when I can in cooking. It just adds so much more depth and so much more flavor to the food. So definitely a good idea. I mean, you probably could use dried, but I don't think you're gonna get the same effect as using fresh. Oh man, this looks so freaking good already. So these mushrooms and chickpeas and stuff are gonna go in at 325, like I said, for about 30 to 40 minutes, and then we're gonna bump up the temperature and cook them for like an additional 5 minutes after that, just to kind of crisp them a little on the edges, which, yay, that's exciting too. So those are gonna go in for a while now, and then I'll be back once they're almost done to show you guys the rest of the dish. Okay, so my mushrooms are in the oven. They have about 5 minutes left on the 325 setting, but I am going to start the rest of the dish. I have 4 cups of water over here that I'm going to bring to a boil. This is going to be for the polenta. And I've got my pan here that I am going to cook some ground beef, probably pound and a half of ground beef. And then once this is browned, I've chopped up a bunch of kale that I'm going to throw in here and just wilt that down with the beef. So the polenta will take a little bit for that water to get up, but once it's ready, then I will be back to show you how to do the polenta. And just as a side note, I'm using instant polenta, not the stuff that takes like forever. So it really only takes about 5 minutes to do, which is really cool. Okay, so my beef is cooked, my kale is in and wilted, and I've turned the heat off of that. My polenta is done. It's a little thick, so I'll probably add a little more water before I serve it, just to thin it out a little bit. And these mushrooms are done now. Before I put them in at 475, I added like a splash of red wine to the pan, mixed it all together, like stirred them all up and spread them back out, then popped them back in the oven for about 7 minutes at 475. So those are all out now. And I'm just going to add all of this into the pan with my beef and kale. I discarded the thyme leaves, so those are already taken out. And then I'm just gonna mix this up. In the polenta, once I whisked it with the water, with the boiling water, once it got thick, I added 3 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of basil pesto, and that's it. You're not going to need salt and pepper in there because of the salt in the pesto. So I also didn't season this, but I'm going to taste it and see if it needs any seasoning, because you do also garnish with a little more pesto on top, and you don't want it to get too salty. So this is all mixed together, and to serve, you're just going to put some of the polenta down on a plate, put some of your beef mushroom mixture on top. You have a little pesto on there, and then you're going to use burrata cheese. If you guys have never had this, you're missing out. It is fantastic. It is like mozzarella cheese, but inside it's like a little pouch, and inside it's just really like soft and creamy. So there's 2 big balls of it in here. I'm gonna break them in half and put half on each plate. And then that will be it. You can garnish with some fresh basil if you want to, or leave it off. Totally up to you guys, but I love basil, so I'll probably throw some on mine. Thank you again for joining me, and if you haven't, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you guys don't miss out on any recipes. Hit that little bell icon so you get notifications when I'm posting new ones. And if you guys are on Instagram watching this, make sure you head over to my profile and follow me so you can catch me over there. Have a great night, guys.